Hello and welcome to the famous Computer Cafe. I'm Andy Velkoff.
And I'm Ellen Walker.
And we're here with a very special guest today, the one, the only Dr. Disk, who's going to be answering your questions about everything in personal computers, what to do with them, how to take care of them, and what they're all about.
So any general questions that you've been holding on to all week and that we haven't had a guest to specifically answer your question, today's the day to call up with all your general questions about computers and your personal computer, and we will do our best. We are giving away the SAT preparation program by Harcourt, Brace, and Jovanovic today. For all of you taking the SAT on January 26th, you might just want to call in with a question and win this program because it sure will help you get good scores, and you know how important those scores are to go to college. So that's what we'll be giving away at the end of the show today. So call in and win.
And the phone numbers are in Los Angeles, 628-KIEV. All of our numbers end with KIEV. San Fernando Valley, the prefix is 989. Glendale, Burbank, 956. San Gabriel Valley, 443. South Bay area, 835. Orange County 714 area, 739. And West Los Angeles, 837 KIEV. Right after this break, we'll be back with a little news and then a phone call from John Dvorak of InfoWorld.
If Lotus had given you just one,
a spreadsheet that's up to 50 times faster than other spreadsheets, with every statistical and financial formula you'll ever need, and the largest workspace on the market.
that would have been enough. And if Lotus had given you just two,
Information management, to store and organize information with the ability to cross-index over 2,000 records by 32 criteria, and use information from other programs and computer systems.
that would have been enough. And if Lotus had given you just three,
Graphics, to graph information from your spreadsheet in less than 2 seconds, and change that information, touch a key, and graph the new results instantly. Graphics as a thinking tool.
that would have been enough.
But Lotus has given you more. Text editing, tutorials, a help key, and a host of features which give Lotus 123 its power and simplicity.
Lotus 123 is available at the Software Spot, 10977 Santa Monica Boulevard in West Los Angeles. Or phone 213-477-7561. That's 213-477-7561.
The Software Spot, the oldest independently owned and operated software store in Los Angeles. A soft sell dealer.
Hi, this is Ellen, and I'm over here at the famous Computer Cafe News and Salad Bar. So while we're having a little lunch, I'll give you a little news. I guess it's a little late for lunch, isn't it? Well, anyway, according to Online Today, General Motors has announced that it will begin offering CRT displays on selected 1986 Buick Rivieras. When GM made this announcement, they claimed they would be the first American manufacturer to offer such an option. Now, Ford Motor Company is marketing a similar system and claiming that Ford will be the first. According to a spokesman, Ford will install CRT display screens on some Lincoln Mark 7s by May 1985. If this is true, Ford will definitely beat GM to the punch. The Lincoln CRT will display information about miles driven, temperature of the cooling system, and engine functions. GM's screen, on the other hand, promises touch-sensitive capabilities to control the radio and power windows and mirrors. A Massachusetts company called Denning Mobile Robotics has received a $23 million contract to manufacture 680 robots to be used as prison guards in Texas. According to the Associated Press, this will be a cooperation between Denning and Southern Steel Corporation, which builds and renovates prisons. The robot is called the Sentry, stands 4 feet tall, and weighs 400 pounds, and it senses people through body heat. The robot will act as remote eyes, ears, and voice for the human prison guards. According to Denning, the robots will also be adapted eventually for industrial security jobs. Kazuhiko Nishi, the 28-year-old designer of the MSX operating system, has recently told the Wall Street Journal that he believes his system will become the standard for home computers, despite the critics who have been less than ecstatic. John Markham, the writer of the Wall Street Journal article, says that while most analysts, manufacturers, and software publishers think the idea of a standard makes sense, most don't think MSX stands a chance of being that standard. The main criticism seems to be that it is based on an 8-bit processor rather than the more powerful 16 and 32-bit chips. Nishi, who helped design the Tandy Model 100 technology a few years ago, predicts that there will be MSX machines marketed in the U.S. for under $500 by the summer of 1985. Franklin Computers is trying for a comeback. The Wall Street Journal reports that Franklin has amended its bankruptcy plan, will continue to pay creditors, and also wants to issue creditors stock in the company. Chairman Morton David was quoted as saying that the company has decided to keep competing on the strength of its new operating system that runs software compatible with the Apple II. Kenneth Lim, an analyst with DataQuest, wrote in the current issue of Computer World that of the 350 companies currently producing microcomputers around the world, there will only be about 75 by the end of 1986, about half of which will be in the United States. Lim estimates that the industry's expansion will only be 35% over the 1984 level compared to 85% in 1984 and 130% in 1983. That's it for the news today.
Well, thank you, Ellen. And now on the line, we have John Dvorak here at the famous Computer Cafe. John, how are you?
Oh, I'm fair, Andy. I ended up with that flu everybody's got up here, and I've got it too.
Listen, I know, well, somebody like you, I know you get around a lot. You talk to a lot of people, so if you're going to catch anything, it would be you, for sure. Tell me, what do you hear about laser discs these days?
Well, funny thing. I got this brochure from an anonymous guy called Stickball Bill. I don't know where he got this thing, but apparently it's a secret document that is going to be released maybe, I understood in June, but it might even be in April, announcing a 3M 500 megabyte laser disc that is readable, writable, and erasable, which is the big breakthrough here. An erasable laser disc that can be used with computers that hold 500 megabytes.
So we're really talking about technology here that's a lot closer to the diskette that you can use, a floppy disk on a machine, right?
Well, actually, it's so far beyond that. One of these laser discs will hold 250,000 pages of text. It'll hold just about 1,200 of those regular floppy disks that you're using in your PC. There's
Wow.
so much, storage capacity on one of these things that it's astonishing, and apparently 3M has made a breakthrough. Let me explain it rather quickly. According to the brochure, what they do, which is a little different, people to get laser discs to work have had to use, for writable, they usually make them so they're write once only, because what the laser typically does is burn a little hole in something, and that's recognized as a bit by the disk controller, or the disk drive. What they managed to do is they put a hot spot someplace, a minute hot spot on the disk, and then with a magnet underneath, they kind of, I would say, stretch or move, or kind of, they don't like burn a hole in the substrate of the diskette, but they just kind of alter its characteristics enough so it could be read as a bit of data by a regular laser beam, not the kind that burns necessarily. And it's phenomenal, because you can erase this type of disk and reuse it over and over, and then you can also use it as a frisbee.
That's terrific. The perfect Sunday afternoon toy. Tell me, John, are we looking towards a merging between PCs and video now?
Well, this is not video. This is going to be mostly for PC only. This will be a data disk. It'll be carrying data just like a floppy does, only it'll carry 1,000 times more information and be a lot safer. You can't erase it with a magnet, for example. It's just basically going to allow us to put online, or take databases offline, put them in your computer. You can, for example, with 10 of these disks, have the entire names, addresses, and phone numbers of all households in the United States.
Boy, how's that for a little black book?
It would be a lot of fun, and then the fact that you can alter the things as somebody moves, you can make a change on the disk. It would be, it's going to change technology completely. If I was an investor and I owned a floppy disk or hard disk stock, I would start scratching my head over this one if it comes out. It looks like it may be showing up. I found out this morning. It may show up at the micrographics show that will be taking place in April in Washington, D.C. Apparently there, 3M has taken out an extra-large booth. And the promoter of the show, who I talked to this morning, said they can't figure out why they took out this extra-large booth, but this is the kind of show that this may be announced.
Okay, well, John, listen, give our thanks to Stickball Bill, whoever he is. Keep him on the line, and we'll speak to you next week.
Okay, Andy.
Thanks a lot, and take care of your cold.
Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
We'll be right back after this with some questions for Dr. Disk.
Bank Street Writer by Broderbund is the one-word processing program that is unpretentious enough to be used at home by both children and adults, yet is sophisticated enough to meet most small business needs, too. Bank Street Writer is packed with powerful features that have made it the most popular home word processing program in the world. There are no complex codes to memorize. Directions are at the top of the screen every step of the way. Bank Street Writer gives you sophisticated features like automatic word wrap, universal search and replace, automatic centering, and easy storage and retrieval of anything you write, complete with password protection. Bank Street Writer also comes complete with a special tutorial on the back of the disc that teaches the basics of word processing. A comprehensive reference manual and free backup disc are also included. Want to try your hand at Bank Street Writer? Then follow your feet down to Strictly Software at 14617 Prairie Avenue in Lawndale. Or you can call 213-970-1242. Strictly Software, a soft sell dealer.
Well, we're back. We're here at the famous Computer Cafe. This is Andy Valkov, and I'm sitting with the one, the only Dr. Disk. How you doing today, Doctor?
I'm fine. The doctor is in.
The doctor is in. Okay, well, we have a lot of questions on the line. We're going to go right to the board and see what we can do. Hi, is this Ann?
Yes.
Hi, Ann. How are you?
Thank you. Hi to everybody in Dr. Disk.
Okay, well, do you have a question for the doctor?
Two short ones.
Well, go ahead.
We have a machine that operates in CPM.
Okay, Ann.
Is there anything in the secondary market? Is there a manufacturer that can build a board or modify an existing board to increase memory capacity? We have 64K and would like 128 or 256.
The limitation there, Ann, is with a specific microprocessor chip. The only way that we could increase the memory would be, as you mentioned, to build a board that would use a 16-bit, which is a fancy title for a bigger chip, that would be able to address more memory. The engineering cost and development of that board is cost prohibitive. So what I'm saying to you is it could be done, but when you look at your pocketbook, when you look at the cost of doing it, you're better off simply upgrading from that CPM system you have to something that would handle more memory.
Ann?
Yes.
I have a question for you. What do you use a computer for?
We use it in business. It's primarily my husband's, and he uses the same one at the office. We have a Xerox 800, and we're going to augment it to 822. And
Do you use it to keep track of your accounts or for mailing lists or what?
For all of that, plus writing his papers and doing his, he does a lot of his office work at home, which is in finance and also in writing.
What was your What was your other question, Ann?
And the other one, did you see anything at ComDix forthcoming that would enable a computer built to utilize CPM to use software prepared in DOS or vice versa?
Well, again, and that gets back to the microprocessor chip that was used, and to be able to plug in a different board, an add-on device, for that to happen. I wouldn't want to be too optimistic in that area. I would suggest you look closely at the value of your computer right now, whether the 820 upgrade is going to be effective for you, whether the CPM system you have now is going to do the job for you, and if it is, don't be concerned about that upgrade to higher memory. At some point in time, though, when you outgrow the system, then we need to discuss, and I'd hope you'd call back, what about upgrading from CPM to DOS? What's involved with doing that?
All right.
Okay?
Hey, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ann. One thing that I did see at CES that may be along those lines is slightly tangential, but was the Commodore 128 machine, which is sort of a hybrid. They're introducing that it'll play CPM. It'll also run software for the Commodore 64, and it has capacity to go to 128. Have you had a chance to see that yet, Doctor?
I haven't seen that one. I would also mention that Apple has the 128 version, and they run their own operating system, Apple DOS. There's many choices out there in the under $2,000 marketplace that are CPM or hybrid type systems.
Okay, well, let's go to another call. Hi, you're on the air at the famous Computer Cafe and with Dr. Disk.
Hi, how you doing? Hello, Andy, and hello, Dr. Disk. How you all doing?
I'm fine.
I have a question in regards to operating systems. I understand that the industry is there's too many types of operating systems, and all the systems are very incompatible. Like you can't run Commodore software on the Apple.
That's true.
Do you see any progress in the future in regards to standardized operating systems?
I really don't. Let me tell you why. This is a doctor's personal opinion here. You want to have an identity as a manufacturer. You want people to recognize your machine. This is a prime reason why Apple doesn't have an IBM compatible. They want to have software developers write software for their specific machine. So does Commodore, so does IBM. When you decide to join the fold, when you decide that everybody's going to be the same, then the dominance of IBM is even heightened. It's even more prominent, because right now they're dominant in many of the business sales, and as a manufacturer, you want to somehow minimize that dominance. So one of the key ways to do it is to be different. And one way to be different is to have a different operating system and to ask software publishers to write their programs specifically for you.
I see. Would CPM and MS-DOS be more of a, would it be kind of an attempt at a standardization in operating systems?
Well, I wouldn't say there's any governing body, so I wouldn't want to use the word standard. There's nobody out there pushing any company in any direction that they don't want to go. I would say, however, just if you look at sales volume, that you have to give the edge to systems that run this so-called DOS.
Well, Doctor, if you know, we've heard a little bit about MSX, and of course, MSX is the system that a number of Japanese companies have designed, and with their intention of bringing it over and making that a universal system. Have you heard much about that, and where do you think it's going?
Well, I haven't heard much about it, but just fundamentally, it's extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult to introduce a new standard and to gain following, because the software publishers hold a great deal of power here, and until enough machines are sold that accept that particular language or operating system, there's not going to be a lot of movement. It's not going to happen soon.
Okay, well, Victor, thanks very much for your call.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we're going to take a break right now. When we come back, the doctor's going to take some more calls. We're also going to give you a little information on some tax and home accounting software packages that are available. We had a caller in that who asked about some yesterday. We gave out a couple. We've got more today when we come back. So we'll be right back after this break.
SuperCalc 3 by Sourcem is a spreadsheet that's extremely easy to use, swift, and powerful, and it's priced lower than most other leading spreadsheet programs. SuperCalc 3 has all the built-in functions expected in a high-quality spreadsheet, and a lot more. SuperCalc 3's features include an on-screen help function, spreadsheet consolidation and sorting capabilities, calendar and date calculations, simple data management, functions, and windowing. The integrated graphics capability is superbly presented, allowing plotting and printing of charts in up to 99 colors. SuperCalc 3 provides you with the ability to create pie charts, bar charts, line charts, and XY graphs. The graphics are integrated into the command structure, so once you learn SuperCalc 3, plotting and graphing the results of your calculations is as easy as pie. To get a taste of the simplicity and power of SuperCalc 3, walk into Simply Software, where they'd love to whip up a quick demonstration. Simply Software is located at 3001 Sepulveda Boulevard in Manhattan Beach, or call 213-546-2467. That's 213-546-2467. Simply Software, a soft sell dealer.
Well, we're back. We're here at the famous Computer Cafe. This is Andy Valkoff, and we're sitting with Dr. Disk, who's been taking some great calls about personal computers. All of you out there who've got a question for the doctor, this is your opportunity to get your questions answered and for a chance to win the GRE SAT software from Harcourt, Brace, and Jovanovich. The phone numbers, Los Angeles, 628-KIEV, San Fernando Valley, 989-KIEV, Glendale, Burbank, 956-KIEV, San Gabriel Galley, 443 KIEV, South Bay 835 KIEV, Orange County 714 area 739 KIEV, and West Los Angeles 837 KIEV. Let's see. We got a call. I think we have Ray Lapham on the line. Ray, how are you?
Hello, Andy. How you doing?
Fine, fine. For all of our listeners out there who don't necessarily recognize your voice, you were, of course, the winner of our famous Computer Cafe giveaway.
Yes, a Commodore 64, and it works real good.
Oh, glad to hear it. So, Ray, what's your question for the doctor?
I'd like you to ask the doctor, with these new computers coming out, like this new Commodore with 128, does he see more of them coming with something other than built-in BASIC, other languages like Forth and COMAL? COMAL is becoming very popular among Commodore user groups. I wonder if he thinks that they'll be built-in and able to have them available without buying special cartridges and what have you.
Well, it's possible, but I don't think it's too likely when you look at the size of the memory requirement size for those languages. COBOL is extremely wordy, for example. So where are you going to put all those words? Where are you going to put the dictionary or the interpreter, in other words? You have to find a place for it, and typically that's out on floppy disk. To carry it one step further, though, I would say that we can have some programs internal, not necessarily languages, but, for example, Lotus. That's internal to one of the Hewlett-Packard portable systems. So I think that we're more inclined to see application programs versus languages internal to the machine.
The Commodore Plus 4, I guess, has several programs built in, but none of those are languages.
That's right.
Machine language monitor.
You just look at the mechanics of putting a language internal, and you see there's just too many characters that need to be stored, too much logic to do it.
More than the BASIC, because the BASIC is generally on an 8K chip.
That's correct. It can be an expanded version of BASIC, but regardless, when you compare the requirements for BASIC and all of the different derivatives of BASIC, what is BASIC? I can tell you I know Spanish, but when we start talking, you know that all I know how to do is say muy bien. So how many versions of BASIC are there? There's many out there, but when you start to talk the higher level languages, you just need too much capacity.
Okay. Ray, thanks a lot, and we're glad to hear you're doing well with the Commodore.
Well, everybody have a good day there.
Thank you, Ray.
Okay, take care. Hi, you're on the line at the famous Computer Cafe. We're sitting here with Dr. Disk.
For instance, I have, say, a compact...
Is this Joe, by the way?
Yes, it is.
Hi,
I
Joe.
have a compact computer, and can that talk through a modem to other systems, such as Apple systems, etc.?
Yes, it can, Joe. Let's talk about talking in general so that none of the listeners are confused. If you want to hook that Apple to a compact or any IBM compatible, and let's say that they're in the same room sitting side by side, you are not going to be able to talk back and forth between the two with a direct cable and pass data unless you have some other communications type gear involved there. We have a special cable, a special interface that would do the trick. If, for example, they're not together, one's around the corner, one's 20 miles away, one's in New York, then you can, with a modem, have a modem at your end, a modem at the other end, and an interface in each computer. And most importantly, we get calls on this all the time, is people will get all the necessary equipment. They'll get the modem, they'll get the interface, they'll get a phone number, they'll get a password, they'll have the baud rate, which is the speed, correct, and then they expect something to happen. And the missing link in what I'm going to here is that they don't have any software. So understand that there's nothing inherent in a modem, for example, that sends or receives data. To conclude that operation, you must have a communications program.
They both have to have the same software program, then?
Well, not necessarily the same one, but they...
If I was using, say, WordStar on a computer, and the other one, say, happen to have, for instance, the Microsoft Word, because they communicate with each other.
Well, we're mixing apples and oranges here, Joe. Those are two word processors, and when they want to exchange data over the phone lines, above and beyond that, you must have a communications program, and that's typically supplied when you buy your modem.
Okay.
Would that be like Hayes Smart Modem
That's right. Yes.
2 or something like that?
That's correct. SmartCom 2 or any of the other vendors, when you get that modem, don't stop there. Get that communication software to go with it.
I follow what you're saying, Alan.
All right.
So, okay, thanks very much, Joe.
No problem. Thanks a lot.
Okay. So we're talking about, this last call is really about telecommunications, where it seems like the next generation of computer development is going to be in the area of allowing computers to talk with one another, wouldn't you say?
Well, I think that they talk to each other really quite well now, except for the incompatibility that some of the questions alluded to earlier. That incompatibility between brands is bridged when you use the phone lines. There you can transfer data between different brands, and I'm going to say relatively easily. But when you say I want to take a disk from brand A and insert it in brand B and make it work, then you're going to have a problem.
Okay, so I can send electronic mail from here at the famous Computer Cafe to a friend of mine in New York or somebody in Chicago or something like that, just using my personal computer, this little piece of hardware we call a modem. It's a little
Yes. Electronic box.
a like little electronic box, little piece of and some software to put in
Yes.
my computer, and then I can just send it over using.
Zap it.
Great.
That's it.
Using, and of course I have to use some kind of service on the phone lines. Is that right?
Well, you can use a long-distance service. You can rent the lines. There's many different options there. But at the home level, a voice-grade line, which is the line that you talk to your friend on, will do.
Okay, we've got one. Let's take one more call here. Hi, you're on the line at the famous Computer Cafe. We're sitting with Dr. Disk. Is this Steve?
Yeah, this is Steve. I'm calling for my daughter, Sheila. For Christmas, I bought her an 800 XL computer,
That's an Atari, right?
Atari. She had an 800 before. All her homework stuff that she's been working on she's been using a program by Synapse called File Manager.
Yes, Steve.
Okay? We can't get the File Manager to run on the 800 XL, but yet it'll still work on the 800. And all the other programs run on both of them. Suggestions?
Well, my suggestion is this, that particular program is using a unique feature in that system's hardware that did not exist on that earlier system. And because of that, that is one of the few programs that won't work on both machines. I would suggest taking that up with the place where you purchased that program.
Okay, I heard rumor that Atari makes the translator disc. Have you heard anything about that?
No, you've got me there. Sorry, Steve.
Okay. Steve, thanks very much. We're a little bit out of time here. Barbara, you're on the line at the famous Computer Cafe.
Oh, how exciting. Dr. Disk?
Yes.
Okay, my question is there a company that is out there somewhere selling insurance to the people who want it from other than the manufacturers and sales companies?
Selling maintenance, is that what you said?
Maintenance and insurance, but mainly insurance.
Well, what type of insurance are we talking about here? Theft?
You mean like theft and casualty?
Breakage.
Well, when the computer breaks down, are you looking for somebody to fix it? Is that what we're talking
Well,
about?
I'll tell you, we bought an Atari.
Yes.
Nothing against them, but we bought some extra parts. Okay? The extra parts were not then included on the original insurance package.
Okay, Barbara, this sounds like it might be a little more involved than we could take in the time we have left. Can we keep you on the air? We'll take you after we get off the show. Will you hold on?
Sure.
Okay, thanks, Barbara. Well, Doctor, it's been a real pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to take a break right now. When we come back, we're going to kind of wrap up and...
Start with the world's best-selling database system. Give it enhanced features to make it faster, more powerful, and easier to use, and you have the makings of a software heavyweight. DBase 3, Ashton Tate's hot new package for your 16-bit PC. With DBase 3, you can create records with up to 128 fields, access 10 files at once, and run other programs like communications or word processing without leaving DBase 3. You can read non-DBase files from other software programs or mainframe databases. And you can easily convert your DBase 2 files and programs to DBase 3. If you get stuck, help is at your fingertips with multiple help screens. And where do you go to see this powerful new program? Go see David and Betty Sun at Sun Computers in the city of Carson. They'll tell you what you need to know about D-Base 3 and more. Sun Computers is located at 20925 South Bonita in Carson, or call 213-538-8338. That's 213-538-8338. Sun Computers in Carson, a soft cell dealer.
Okay, well, it's been great having you all today. I want to mention real quickly the tax program that I was trying to think of yesterday is the J.K. Lasser Income Tax and Home Accounting Software, which was introduced just recently by Simon & Schuster, sells for $79.95.
Okay, our winner for the giveaway today, Joe Daly. You've won Computer SAT. And we want to thank Dr. Disk. We'll be back tomorrow with another great guest. In the meantime,
our guest tomorrow will be talking about the SAT program for all of you who want to know what you've won.
Okay, take care. We'll see you tomorrow.